is what key life experiences have formed who you are today?
Playing shows and like just the punk and DIY community that like I have a hard time. Like I don't watch sports,
Mhm.
like I didn't play sports because I started doing that stuff so early that I'm like, it's like so ingrained in me now that I'm like, okay, I have a little bit of time now. I don't have to take care of kids. What do I do? Like, do I
Yeah.
take up another hobby? But I've just been doing music so long that I'm like, I guess I just find some people to jam with and do it that way.
How did you become passionate and involved in graphic design?
The first record we did, someone did the layout for it, and the process was just weird. It was like we didn't get any input. And then when we got it, I was like, this is it? Like, we waited all this time for this? So I think after that, I started being like, you know what? I'm just going to start learning like Photoshop and like do what I can
Yeah.
to try to like put it out there because I mean, if I have the ideas, I just need to figure out how to facilitate them. So that's kind of like where my background in it started.
What are your core values and how are they reflected in your design practice?
Since I've come from like that DIY, like do it yourself ethos, I guess just figure out ways to do things creative and out of the box, but not in a sense of like having the most amount of money on hand.
Mhm.
So I guess just thinking creatively, like on a budget. And I've always felt like that was kind of the direction that I pushed was like, how can something be made and packaged, but like done in a way that is conceivable for like a band that maybe is putting it out themselves.
Mhm.
And that's kind of even like what I bring to like when I do like the Herberger stuff.
What is your design process?
I've always started with like thumbnail sketches.
Mhm.
And then usually from there I work to like if it's a like a packaging kind of complex thing, then I might move to like maybe more like hands-on like paper mock-ups. Um, and then usually I go to like really bad like Photoshop versions and
Mhm.
then just kind of like fine tune it out. If it's drawing, I usually like I can draw and I could do okay with drawing, but I need like a lot of reference material.
How do you collaborate with other individuals to realize your impactful work?
I think I don't know. Think it's probably like goes back to like playing music. Like I work well like riffing off of people, and I like exchanging ideas with stuff because I feel like you're able to build something and get someone else's perspective on like something you might not have thought of. So even like a lot of the packaging stuff I've always done with one of my friends, and I think it's just nice because he always has a perspective on things that I don't necessarily have.
Where do you think design is going?
Like a lot more maybe like kind of illustratory, like simplified illustration has come back. And it seems to have gone like away from, I don't know, like David Carson, texture on top of texture on top of texture, and
Mhm.
seems to be going like more, I guess, flat and simple, which is cool. Um, but I don't know, I have a hard time even keeping.
What are the biggest challenges you face?
For me, it's like selling myself. That's always like a really hard part of like doing design, especially if you're going into like freelance design.
Mhm.
I've been horrible at like marketing myself or, like there's, I guess like I have a confidence in what I do, but there's like a separate confidence in like being able to be like, this is what I do. It's going to cost you $5,000 for it,
Yeah, it's like
and like,
assertiveness. Yeah.
yeah, and I've been horrible at that, and I think a lot of it was just because I had done it, like, so deeply in music that, like, I was always doing it for people that didn't have any money to begin with.
What advice would you give to a young student, let's say like college aged?
I did a lot of, like, stuff that maybe, like, definitely didn't get me paid, and I think that stuff is nice to do, but I would say be careful of it because I feel like you start getting down, like, a hole of, like, maybe that work is going towards like your portfolio or stuff you want to do. Man, it is a slippery slope. You're doing it, and then the next thing you know, like you're doing more and more and more of it and thinking you're getting more experience.